pleased to be joined today by Patrick Ryan, the SVP of Global Engineering and Technology, ABS, to discuss the promise of end-to-end 3D vessel design. Patrick, we've talked for years about digitalization and paperless in various maritime contexts. Last year was historic with the first commercial U.S. vessel designed, built, and verified using an end-to-end 3D process. For those not in the know, can you just start us off with a project description and ABS's role?
Sure. Kind of maybe even a little bit of a broader picture on where 3D based class approval has started and where it is today. So ABS really started focusing on this in 2018 with a series of what we call joint development projects, effectively joint R&D projects with various ABS clients, whether they be ship designers, shipyards, and the like. We've done some big ones that have hit the press, and then some other ones that we've held closer to the chest. But if you search on it, you'll find a big project we did with Samsung Heavy Industries. You'll find a big project that we did a couple of years ago with Robert Allen. You'll find an offshore patrol vessel we did with Israel Shipyards. And all of those projects were joint development projects leading up to something bigger. And last year was where we kind of started to get to that bigger case, where it wasn't just a couple of models released on a vessel. It was purely and completely stem to stern, all drawings replaced with 3D CAD from a plan review standpoint. So that was a project with, again, Robert Allen. So this is not the JDP I mentioned, but what I would call a real project, but a construction project of an ART, an advanced rototug, that is being built by Signet Shipyard and will be operated out of Corpus Christi, Texas, here soon. They're laying, as I understand it, the keel for the second vessel next month. So that project was reviewed by ABS last year. So that's the big milestone that you talked about for us. That's kind of the real first from a complete picture standpoint on 3D based CAD disclosure and plan review by a class society.
Look at this technology and the promise. What are the chief benefits of an end-to-end design process, a kind of by the numbers look at this project specifically or generically, the types of savings that can be anticipated?
Sure. And it's to a large degree, it's really about enabling our clients to save dollars on the deck plate during construction while maintaining the class focus on safety. And so the percentage numbers vary greatly, and a lot of those are proprietary to the clients, so I don't have any good numbers, rule of thumb for you. But what this is really about, and I come from shipbuilding before my time with ABS, I really think about this in the lean manufacturing perspective of the elimination of waste. And for a decade in my career, I would go around saying that engineering drawings are waste in kind of the lean manufacturing sense of the word, because they're a very inefficient communication method. Because the engineering work is done in 3D, then the 3D model is used as an engine to build the drawing and generate the drawing so that the downstream stakeholders could understand the information. Well, with mobility and modern technology and the advent of computers on the deck plate and the kind of hardware, information hardware that shipbuilders and craftsmen have access to today, makes that drawing production kind of an antiquated process. And so, I took drafting in college, and I have respect for the romance and the beauty of an engineering blueprint or drawing. But truth be told, if you can communicate directly from the CAD to those downstream stakeholders and eliminate the drawing from the production process, you save money in engineering. Time and time again, all the clients that we work with, they save money in production because the disclosure in the 3D is more intuitive for the construction process. And from a class review standpoint, it actually also streamlines our work. We have fewer disclosures. We can manage change better. We have a better understanding of the design, so we can do a better safety and class review from that product. So that's really kind of the get, right? That's the value add to the whole value stream, and everyone sees it along the path.
The college reference certainly hits home, because when I was in college, I was on a typewriter and there was no internet. So, the times they have changed. So, so Patrick, Can you discuss ABS's approach to 3D model integration into glass?
Yeah, it's philosophically, I think it's relatively unique in the market. We are very focused philosophically on being flexible to disclosures. So we are taking all types of CAD disclosures from the design community, regardless of file format, regardless of pure CAD or PLM involvement, and effectively making it easy for everyone. We did a barge project in Alaska last year where it was a 3D laser scan of the existing hardware and then a retrofit done in a step file, which is kind of, from my perspective, a relatively low tier of CAD platform. And for us, that gives us a little bit more work on managing the data and managing many different file types, but it makes it easier for the industry. I don't want, ABS does not want to dictate to the shipyards what format or what file types they need to submit to us, right? We work with those yards typically in a JDP first to establish what that exchange process looks like, and then we build upon their existing process to make it easy for them, rather than trying to drive the industry toward a standard.
It seems like there are numerous benefits, but what are some of the main challenges for those who are watching that might be interested to adopt this workflow?
Yeah, well, I think the philosophy that we just talked about is certainly a challenge for us. I think as folks get more used to how to manage in the 3D, managing change is a challenge that everyone needs to overcome. I think the solution to that challenge is PLM systems, product lifecycle management systems. Today, ABS is in the process of standing our own up so that we can manage that challenge of managing change. Because really, when you think about all the benefits of CAD, there's elimination of waste, which we already talked about. But dealing with change in the 3D CAD environment is far easier than doing revisions to drawings. So the posture of class can evolve to meet that challenge of managing change as we start to get more sophisticated in the 3D model exchange process and the management of those files. And again, that goes back to that philosophy of being flexible and being agile with the file type formats. So we can exchange and manage in the native format of the design of our client, of the designer, rather than trying to drive to some kind of standard that then you have to reissue that standard like a revision every time you want to make a change.
From the development and the delivery of this technology, from the ABS point of view, what do you consider the greatest lesson learned so far?
Well, what surprised me the most about this isn't a capital ship. This isn't a major vessel approach. I thought the early adoption in this would be in big capital projects that were really kind of driven by the high tier shipyards for $100 million projects. And that's not been the case. We've seen this across the spectrum, big ships, patrol craft, tugs, all the way down to barges. And kind of the readiness and the adoption cycle that has been surprising to me, and the biggest lesson that I've learned has not been driven by a niche market. It's pretty universal. It all depends on where the designer and the shipyard are in their technology transformation and their cycle of innovation.
So in conclusion, can you discuss how does 3D process impact class today?
Yeah, so the exciting thing is that starting last year, really, we started moving it from an R&D project into the core process of ABS. So it is moved from the technology of the R&D function into engineering. So that's super exciting. And then, of course, what we talked about with PLM to manage change. I didn't mention one other important technology, and that's the cloud. Now we're starting to move all of this approach into the cloud to really facilitate that exchange and make everything easier. I know there's security questions. I mean, we are attacking that with great rigor to make sure that that data is well protected. We'll be able to confirm that and assure everyone that we're working with that data is well protected. But it's exciting times in 2022 for sure, and the future is bright for digital class exchange.